All right,
All
I'll
right,
try.
so yeah, let's start again. So AJ Heath,
Yep,
so sole owner now of POSCON.
that's right.
All right. So yeah, tell us. I guess tell us like what was the theory behind getting POSCON started? What's
Just honestly, to enhance my hobby.
okay?
I wanted something in a middle ground area between what had already was out there and available, and I really wanted to change things, make things more realistic, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, there's realistic. I mean, college is very realistic, but I
Yep.
wanted just something a little bit more balanced. So that's why
Absolutely.
I did it. Yeah.
Okay. So where do we stand now? What's what are you working on? What's we're in kind of a you're in a testing alpha
Yeah.
testing or
I wouldn't call it. It's
beta?
closed. It's closed beta.
Closed
We have
beta,
about
okay.
58 testers right now.
okay?
We are currently going to move into a managed release. A lot of people thought we were going to go open and just like release the floodgates, and I think that we discussed it internally, and that just didn't seem like the right approach.
Okay.
So we're going to do a 3-tiered managed release plan where we
Okay.
slowly throttle the opening of the doors, essentially,
Sure.
and let 500 to 1,000 people in the next couple months, and then a month or two after that we'll release up to 2,000, and then after that it'll be open to all pilots. Air traffic controllers, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit more challenging because we still have to set up a lot of training infrastructure.
Okay.
And so we're kind of looking more now for experienced people that already know what they're doing.
Okay.
And then once we have all those training mechanisms in place, then we can just open those doors. And that's what we're calling our official release. It's the day that we can allow air traffic controllers to come in and get trained.
Sure.
That's our official release.
So tell us about. Get the questions up here. Too.
Yeah,
I
sure,
want to
yeah.
try to progress.
Here, just
order.
use it.
Sorry. Okay. Is it, yeah. All right. So tell us about like what's your goal with POSCON? Like what's the ultimate goal here for setting up? Like what are you trying to achieve with POSCON? What's
A realistic and high fidelity network, I guess, and
yep.
that everybody can enjoy. That kind of solves a lot of the pain points that users have.
Yep.
That's my main goal, is to solve those pain points.
Very good. What sets apart? What's different about your network from other networks that are out there? So we've got there's Pilot Edge, there's VATSIM, there's IVAO. What sets you apart? What's the key differences?
Okay. Yeah, so the first and main one, especially the bigger networks, the free ones, is that our structure is very different. It's a company. There's a sole ownership. There's not a lot of people that make decisions. It's one person. So I think that really helps us to streamline and trailblaze really quickly. Other things is we approach everything. Every development question we have is this realistic, and can we automate it? And how do they do it in the real world? So those are the questions we ask when we're developing something. And
Sure.
if we can automate it, we try to, like especially supervisor functions and stuff like that. We call them moderators, but supervisor functions. So.
What's your plan like with pilot entrance like into the network and stuff?
Okay, yeah,
Or even controllers too. Let's talk about that as well.
Well, controllers is a little bit more up in the air. We want to transfer ratings, allow rating transfers from legacy networks for the first 6 months once we open that door for them.
Sure.
But pilots is really what I want to solve, because pilotability is always a pain point for user experience,
Right.
especially air traffic controllers experience, and other pilots as well. So we're going to have an entrance evaluation, and it's not going to be like, okay, you fail, you can't come on.
Yep.
But if you fail to a certain level, we're going to send you through training, and those training modules will hit those common error issues that you seem to lack knowledge in.
Okay.
And then it's kind of like a barrier to entry, but you still can enter. And I might add too, you actually still can connect to the network even if you fail that test in an observer type of mode we call ghost mode. So you can still see planes, listen to radio. Just nobody can hear you and nobody can see you. So you're not a problem on the network.
Okay.
You're just getting used to the radio communications.
Sure. Okay. So that's a good way to get people kind of introduced into everything. Yeah.
Sorry, just tap it every once in a
Just
while.
tap it. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So let's talk about like infrastructure for the network. What can you share with us, like about what you've worked on, like on the back end? What's going into like the network infrastructure itself?
You mean technically?
Yeah. What can you share?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a programmer, so I can't share a ton of that kind of information because I don't know.
Okay.
But we have a cloud infrastructure. We can spool up servers when we need them.
Yep.
We have high update rate. It's up 15 hertz for the pilot server, and it varies based on distance, so we're not wasting a bunch of bandwidth.
Okay.
I guess what other stuff is that? We have an ATC server. We call it, it's a data server essentially.
Okay.
We can feed maps at 2 hertz, so very quick map updates, and that will be a publicly available API so that other people can develop map software as well.
Sure. So yeah, I know you've like released some YouTube, or there are some YouTube videos out and stuff. Excellent. It sounds like, first of all, well, listening to it like in person,
Yeah.
it sounds awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Like of any network so far, and no disrespect to any other networks, but like it is probably the best that I've heard. Like hands down, it feels like you're listening to live ATC almost. You know, when you throw a headset on. It's great. So just compliment you on that.
Thank you.
The refresh rate too, because I remember watching was it Fess and Mike or something?
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
flying
sure.
together, and it's just like fluid, totally fluid. So the refresh rate is like instantaneous with what you guys have. So it's like
Really want to get the military guys back involved, and that's what they belong. They use Join FS and they use other these products that have really high update rates, but they want a formation flight. They want to do stuff like that, and it's also great for bush flying too. You come in, you can taxi. We had a video today where it showed that where you're taxiing behind up like a hill to go to the parking area. You don't get that in every network. I think Pilot has quite a high update rate as well.
Yep. That's great. So let's see here. What's the story with? Are you planning on keeping this free?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The user fees. We're not going to charge for the service at all. And a lot of people ask me, the big question is, how are you going to monetize? And the truth is really just we wanted to develop a superior product first, and then kind of see what works.
Okay.
But it doesn't. Our plan does not include user fees. So.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. What's going on with the controller clients?
So we have a custom, fully new controller client. It will be cross-platform, so Mac users can use it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that brings in a whole new crowd.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Nice.
And right now it's simulating, the UI is simulating the ERAM, not
Okay.
ERAM, but ERAM, which is
Who's helping you with the development side?
it's Gergely Saranac from Euroscope.
Very good.
So he's doing the front end of that, and as that ERAM product, but we definitely are going to extend that, and we're also going to allow the users to crowdsource their UI. So if you're in a different country and you want to develop, and you have some developing skills, and you want to develop your country's UI, we're going to try to make that so you can just put it on top of our software, because a lot of our software is on the cloud.
Awesome. Okay. Now, when we've talked before, probably like last year in Vegas, with the controller client, are you still planning on having it where if you're working top down and you zoom down into each stage, it's going to transition to what that radar should display?
And that's completely adjustable by you at where they appear, if they appear. Right now, you have to kind of manually go into the files and configure where you want them to appear. But you can configure any section of data to appear at any zoom level.
Okay.
So it's very customizable, and hopefully we'll put that into some sort of UI where you can just put it very easily to it. Right now, it's a little bit tedious, but it works very well.
Very good.
And that's really for the top-down aspect. It is going to be a top-down network. So.
Yep. That's awesome. So that's definitely setting you apart from other networks right now, because it's like if you're top down, you gotta just pull up the center thing.
Yeah.
That's all you're working with, pretty much.
Actually, Iveo does do that, I think. And,
do they?
Yeah,
Okay.
they do. Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with
That's
it, but that's really cool. I like that. What challenges are you presently facing right now with anything? Is it
It's honestly, it's been a lot smoother for the last 6 months or so.
Okay.
So challenges have really just been fixing bugs and kind of deciding the direction of user experience on a few items. We really debate those key questions. Is this the most realistic way we can approach it, and can we automate it? And we definitely had discussions back and forth on some things, especially around the pilot client side of things.
Yep.
We have that web user interface, and the question is how much do you really want it to look like a 787 MFD, and how much, what do we need to add for it to be network compatible, and what will people like in it? So, yeah. The nice thing is it's web, so we can easily update it if there's a user experience issue.
Very good. So, so the beta is going pretty well so far. It's
Yeah. Definitely when we hit the big milestone in my opinion was when we hit the flight plan system. We finally got the flight plan system integrated with the clients, and the users can now file their flight plans and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, we had to rewrite that.
Yep.
So that was a pain point for us, is we had to redo that code. And once we got that, it's been really nice because we can start plugging everything into the controller client, and you can start seeing flight plan data and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So.
Very good. So, any news on like a estimated possible release?
Yeah.
Share with us?
We shared on Friday. We shared the release plan.
Yep.
We actually, Epis Elite put us at. They pinned us a little bit to a date. It was actually supposed to be the last quarter of this year. I guarantee that we will have that initial phase release. So it's 500 to 1,000 users we'll bring on board.
Yep.
But they published quarter 3, end of quarter 3. And that was my mistake. I told them my wording was wrong. But yeah, so that's the beginning, and then the next quarter after that would be quarter 1, and that will be the 1,000 to 2,000 users. So.
Okay, very good. What else can you share with us? Wise or anything?
Go sign up. If your name's in the system, you're already halfway to getting on the network. So in the invite codes, so the way the invites work is we're going to give a bunch of people that showed up at FS Expo invite codes when we do that initially, so they can come on and start playing with the network. We're also going to give our testers a bunch of codes to give away so that they have friends that can come on the network. Okay. And then once those testers are on board and we move to phase 2, everybody gets those invite codes that are currently on the server, and they start inviting their own friends. So we kind of get groups of people that are friends that come on the network, and also kind of hopefully we'll bring people, and there was a responsibility for those codes. You gave out those codes; those people are, responsible on the network. So hopefully that minimizes issues.
Very good. Okay. We do have some questions. I have a question here from somebody. This is Finbar's standalone pilot client works with this, or like how does the pilot client? Is it,
so we have this
multiple platforms, or?
Yeah, we have a launcher software. Right now they're all kind of separate programs, but we have this grand idea for a launcher software which we already have in beta.
Yep.
And it loads. It's kind of like if you know Project Fly. It looks and feels like Project Fly because it's using the same infrastructure. It's called Electron.
Okay.
And it loads up our website into this desktop app, and that will update your client software. Okay. And it will auto download it, load it, and update it. So you really should have very little interaction with what we call the native client, which is what you're familiar with, like vPilot, right?
Yep.
You'll have very little interaction with that. Your main interaction, maybe initially you'll set your headset settings and push to talk and stuff like that.
Sure.
The main interaction will be through this web UI, which is accessible by all devices because it's web. So that's really how we plan to handle the software. And in the Radar client side, you'll be able to choose your position from the launcher software. So you basically choose the Radar client, you choose what position you want. It streams you data for sector data.
Okay.
It streams you the position files that you're formerly familiar with.
Yep.
So it's kind of a new approach that we're putting everything on the cloud and streaming it to the user. So there's really no installation process. Because that's always a big problem, right? To get a controller online.
Yeah, it's kind of a roadblock to people getting involved. It's like how complex is it to set up?
Exactly.
The less setups, obviously, the more beneficial it is to the user.
Yeah.
So the frequencies and stuff. Let's talk about that for a second. So you have the ability to transmit across multiple frequencies?
We're adding cross coupling in the next month and a half, which is essentially bandboxing cross coupling. They're used interchangeably, but that's when you link 2 or 3 frequencies on the same, so everybody can hear each other.
Yep.
We're going to definitely utilize that, and I want to get to the point where we can. Right now, it's pretty much you just open a frequency and talk on the frequency, kind of like legacy VATS and IPO networks and stuff like that.
Yep.
But we want to get to the point where it's more like Pilot Edge, where you can go to a frequency from a chart, and it will auto route you to a proper person.
Route you to that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
So we really want to get to that point. And the only problem with that is you got to make sure you get onto a frequency that's available in the air. Because if you take off on 121.9 out of Philadelphia, you're going to hear Kennedy on 121.9. So they got to get to departure frequency. So there's definitely got to be a frequency change at some point, right?
Right.
So as long as, but once they're on the departure transmitter, those are usually good for a couple hundred miles.
Yep. Very good. So you'll have like the ability to transmit over multiple frequencies.
Yeah.
How about so radar coverage will be like you can set up the radar sites and get like the azimuth and stuff. What about like here's a big one like terrain.
Terrain?
Yeah. Will there be terrain-based limitations as well?
Yeah, we already have the terrain modeling in both.
Wow.
We don't have it in the radar yet,
Yep.
but we do have it in the voice. But we can use that setup that we have there for the radar.
Okay.
So we have terrain block. We'll have terrain blocking for both.
Awesome. Very good. Same like transmitters too. You'll have like if a pilot is on the ground, they'll have a smaller transmitter range, and then as they take off, it kind of expands out a little bit.
It doesn't quite work like that. I know that's how the other guys are doing it. We do it a little bit different. Our programmer is an RF engineer. Or actually, he's an engineer.
Okay.
And so he works through the.
Is he here too, or?
No, we had only one programmer here.
Okay.
The rest of us were marketing.
I kind of wish I brought your other team over here. I know Mike is here. Zodius has done a lot of work on my personal streaming and stuff. Great dude. Who else is here? It's
Divya Patel.
Divya. There was a couple other guys too, right?
Edwin Brown. He's a junior developer. He was here yesterday. And we had Kareem, who's business development. And he actually didn't show up today. He went and did some Disney stuff.
Oh, okay. Very good. I lost my train of thought. What were we just talking about before? We were talking about, so it doesn't work the same as the radio range, doesn't work the same as what VATS was doing? Or
no, there's differences for sure. To be honest with you, I can't explain it. He's done some mathematical crazy calculations to be able to do it just like the real world. It's a line of sight, or curvature of the Earth type of deal. Okay. So it also accounts for if the train rises, it's accounting for that cutoff.
Right.
So out in the ocean, you can, if you're at 36,000 feet, you can hear it really far.
Right.
But as you go west over the mountains or over into higher elevations such as Denver, or let's just say the Midwest Plains states, that's 3,000 feet or something like that.
Yep.
You're gonna at 36,000 feet, you're still not gonna hear as far as you would over the ocean. So.
Okay. Very good. That's awesome. It all sounds great. So I'm looking forward to trying it.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure. So I'll probably be one of the first people to know once the radar client's ready. So
yeah, probably.
Patient is ready. So, I'm looking forward to trying it for sure.
It's already usable. I'll let you use it.
Oh, awesome, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, appreciate that. We'll definitely whenever set up a good stream time for that and stuff. So,
sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to see what your service is offering. The audio sounds great. I'm so impressed with it. It was just so cool. It sounded small audible. That was the biggest selling point for me.
We also have some fun stuff coming pretty soon. Once the flight plan system really helped us because we can now get links in KO codes to certain audio files.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So we really try to emulate every point of the VHF communication. We do have HF
that's
on
a
the
good
docket
question.
too.
Yeah, the HF.
We have it on the docket. It's not actively developed, but it's on the docket to be done.
We have CPDLC and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. So CPDLC is already being developed. We already have one function working, which is the position report. So right now, a pilot can be flying along report and not the position report itself is actually not working, but it's the pi rep part of the position report. So in the position report form, they have a turbulence and an icing option for light, moderate, severe. And if they press that and they submit the pi rep, it will pop up on our map.
Awesome. Okay.
And they can do, I'm going to limit it to like 2 per hour, and then that will persist for an hour.
Let's talk about weather here too, while we're on that topic.
Sure.
So what's the plans? When's loft? What's your plan?
So, winds, so first of all, weather doesn't really matter except winds loft. At least for my opinion.
It's a huge thing with controlling. Like every network faces that problem where it's like pilots use different weather. So what are you planning on enforcing like some sort of a system where it's like, hey, we're gonna inject the weather for you. Here it is. You know, everyone's on the same stuff, and that way, you know, it's easy for ATC.
I don't think people would really like it if we demanded a certain type of weather client. Like obviously we would probably recommend Active Sky, you know, it's very good. And there's other ones obviously as well, but that one obviously has some pretty good, Damien does a really great job with his product. So, but if you don't have that, really what we care about is those winds, and if they're off by a certain margin.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're going to go. We're going to try to look at what they have and what they have loaded, and maybe throw a flag. We haven't actually finished the development of that, but that is something we have to say.
What about weather and the ATC client? You gonna have the ability to see?
Yeah, actually, we started that project already. That was started a few months ago, and then we abandoned. Not abandoned it completely, but abandoned it just to work on the flight plan, the API, integrating the API. So we're going to come back and revisit that before we would launch. So.
Very good. Okay. And something else too, I can't remember now. What else? What else is there to share? See if we got any more questions. So we chat here real quick. Not really anything here. So there's the FS Elite interview. I haven't watched it yet, but I will definitely take a look at that.
Sure.
So there's that to check out as well, guys. The FS Elite one, which was a couple days ago.
Yeah, Threshold did one as well.
Threshold, okay. All right, very good. Yeah, I'll have to check those out. But I'm definitely looking forward to trying it. I think it's good to bring new ideas and stuff and modernization into it's creating positive competition, I think, with everybody. So across the board, it's good. Even that's complimented you and stuff too. Like, hey, it's good to have everyone out here working. So hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully people will jump on and give it a shot once it's out.
Yeah, I hope so. Sign up now, and you can definitely 50% of the way there. So.
Yep. You guys have like a bunch. I know you have a bunch of Discord stuff for like regions.
Right. So we have kind of already a public Discord set up. I answer pretty much if you have a question. I don't hold back. We're pretty, forthcoming and open about what we're developing and how we're doing it and stuff like that. So especially now after Expo, we've definitely opened the floodgates in here. But if you go visit the forum, a lot of questions have been asked and answered there in terms of features that we plan on. And honestly, guys, I get really good suggestions from people in Discord and in the forums. And a lot of it spurs, development progress, stuff we're going to add to the network. Because it's all about fixing the issues that they see.
Absolutely.